Hey everyone, and this is another free thinking show. But this one is a special one. But once more, this is my views and my opinions, like I always say, and I don't want any hate towards my shows. So, please just, this is like a positive, well, these are supposed to be my views and my thoughts. Everyone has their own views and thoughts. If you don't like my views and thoughts, then I'm sorry, but they're mine and I'm not going to change them. But anywho, this is my birthday show. Last week I actually turned 29. And before I turned 29, I had this year, 2016 period has been one hell of a year for me. And it honestly got me thinking about a lot of different things in my life and a lot of different things that's been going on. And I kind of wanted to just kind of have a show dedicated to just talking about it. So, I'm gonna let the music play for a few more minutes, and I will be right back. Alright, and I am back. So the first thing I'm going to do is what I'm going to call some of the things that I've learned while I was 28. I was going to do 28 things, but then I honestly thought about it and I'm not going to do 28 things. I'm not. It's like I'm not. Because I don't think I remember 28 things I've learned. And more and more I thought about it, it kind of fit into like certain groups. So I'm just going to kind of talk. That's why I'm doing this on here. So, without further ado, these are some of the things I've learned while I was 28. First thing I learned was, which is kind of like one of the harder things for me to do, which is to let people in more. And I know I'm going to confuse some people because my next one's going to be completely like, what? But you said let people in more. But anywho, letting people in more, because for a long time I did close off a lot of people. But I have, this previous year, I've honestly learned how to let people in more. And with letting in people more, I have met new people. I have talked to new people. I have actually kind of gotten out there a lot more than what I used to. Because that's very much kind of like a hermit crab in a sense. And the next thing is, don't trust everyone that you let in. And don't give out everything about you. Don't be such an open book to people. Because in this new world, I've learned to realize that there's some people around just to use you or just to get some shit on you just so they can post it online and be like, aha, look at this bitch, she's fucked up, because it makes them feel better at the end of the day, which only makes them look fucked up. But do have trust issues. I will be the first one to admit it. I have trust issues. But I've honestly seen that there's some people who I trusted for years and come around, they were fucked. They turned their backs on me, or they did some fuck shit towards me or some other shit this year. And so it's got me looking at them a different way. So I honestly, this year, the other lesson I learned, which was take a step back. Me taking a step back from a lot of people and a lot of things in my life honestly showed me that some of these people and some of these things I was doing were not good for me at all. They were not, it wasn't a good environment, or they were not good people to be around, period, point blank. And I've just honestly had to sit back and kind of push people away in a sense. And I know pushing people away is not a good thing. You shouldn't push people away. But if they're hurting you, if they're making you be someone that you're not, or doing things that you don't want to do, then they're not good people from the get. So you should not have them around. Period. But the next thing, well, I'm going to take a break, drink a little bit of water, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, and I am back. And the next thing is, this year I learned how to re-love in a sense. And what I mean by that is, over 5 years ago, I lost someone near and dear to me who meant the world to me, and it devastated me. It broke me down. That's one of the things that kind of sent me into my really bad part of my depression years. Like, for a good minute, like, I was able to fight it and stuff like that. But in the midst of me being depressed like that, I start feeling like, in a sense, like I was worthless. Like, I didn't need to love people. Like, I didn't want no one loving me. Because it seemed like when people loved me, they died and left. I know it's kind of a fucked up way to think, but that's how I thought. And this year, I've learned how to let go of some of that hurt that I had, and be smarter with who I let in, and be smarter with who I choose to give my heart to, and stop giving it to anyone and everybody, and stop doing stuff for some people, because swear which is another thing that I learned this year. I had to learn how to honestly stop doing so much for people, because I had a lot of people who will come around because of the fact of what I could do for them instead of who I am. They didn't want to be around me for who I am. They want to be there for me. They want to be around me for what I can do for them, what they can get from me. And it kind of fucks with you after a while. And another thing I learned this year was how to get refocused on my goals and my things that I want to do in my life in my future. Because next year I will be the big 3-0, and I don't want to be wondering what I want to do next. I want to be doing what I want to do next. Like, which will be my next part of this show. I'm going to talk about like what I want to do while I'm 29 before I turn 30. Especially since now I have this new view on life and honestly seeing life as it is right now. I want to be able to do more with my life than what I was doing in my earlier 20s. And let's see, what else have I learned this year? That other thing I've learned is not everyone who's nice to you, not everyone who's friendly is meant to be your friend. They're doing that shit for a reason. And I know a lot of this might be touching on similar subjects, but that is another one I've learned. Another thing I learned was how to face my fears head on and not let them control me so much. And I think because of me being, like, I was afraid of a lot of different things, and there's some fears that I had that were completely crazy. But now I'm learning how to face them head on, which I'll be facing some more of those this coming year, going into my 30s and beyond that. And I'm going to take a break, and I think I'm going to wrap up this part of the show, and we'll start working on the next one. So I will be back. Alright, and I am back. And the next part of my show is I'm going to talk about some of the goals I want to accomplish before I turn 30. I was going to do the 29 things. If it sounds like I did 29, good, great. But if not, then this is going to be summing it up. But nevertheless, these are some of the things that I want to do before I turn 30. First thing I want to do is I want to be more proactive when it comes to my podcasting, and I want to be more active on my podcasting, and I want to be able to do more things on here too. And I know it is hard because this isn't my main job. I do have another job because I am a single parent, so I do need to work so I can provide for my child. Because I'm not going to just sit on my ass and wait for someone else to provide for my child and me. I'm sorry, I can't. But I want to be more proactive on here. I want to be able to interact with my fans and you guys that listen, my viewers, and everyone who listens, depending on you're listening from podcast or YouTube. I just want you guys to really listen, enjoy, and I want to bring you guys great content for coming up and beyond. And I want you guys to really, enjoy what you're listening to. So, and then another thing, number 2 thing I want to work on is working on more stories and more poems, because I want to be able to do, I don't know what I'm going to exactly do yet with my story time channel, my story hours channel that I have on here. I do have a story hour channel. I just haven't posted anything on there because I have such a damn time about finishing stories. I can finish poems, no problem. When it comes to stories, though, it's hard. So, I want to be able to do more on my story thing. I think I'm going to try a new format towards it. Then maybe it'll kind of help me out a little bit. I don't know. I should try it and see. I'll probably try it over the weekend. Because I will be. Yeah. I think I'm off this weekend. But anywho. So I got sidetracked. But anywho. But yes. I want to be able to do more. So I'm going to be doing more in that aspect. And working on doing more towards my stories and things like that, because I want to be able, by the time I'm 31, is actually take a whole bunch of my poems and stories and things like that and actually publish them and put them in a book for you guys. So that'll be my next thing. That is actually number 3, is get published. Get some books out there, get published. Just like I want to do more towards my music beats and things like that. But, what was I talking about? But yes, which another thing I was trying to say is I want to work on my music more, my music beats, and actually doing music lyrics and probably actually producing songs up in the future there. Just like my other thing I want to work on is towards starting my own business, because I have been bossed and told what to do a good part of my 20s and things like that. I feel like now I should be able to be my own boss. I know and I see the visions and my goals that I want to do, and I want to be able to bring that to light. I want to be able to show people like a different view towards stuff. So even like with my shop and things like that, I want people to see my view towards stuff. Which my shop that I'm going to start, it'll be online mainly. But it's going to be kind of like a personalization shop besides me making jewelry. But I'm going to be doing like cell phone cases and the headsets and things like that. And I'm going to personalize them, and they're going to be all one of a kind. But I'm also going to do other stuff too, like mirrors and all sorts of stuff. It's about to be quite good, actually. But, which another thing I want to work on is I want to be able to, I'm actually, it's kind of weird, but I actually want to learn how to play the guitar. I feel like that'll help me more. With me learning how to play the guitar, I feel like it'll help me more towards my music. Because then I can be able to play like the certain things that I want and things like that. Like I can dabble my way through a keyboard. Not good, but I can dabble my way good enough. I can't just make a whole track off of it. Like I can do a few things here and there. But, which that might be maybe what I'll do after I turn 30. Is learn how to play the keyboard. But, let's see, what else? Towards my personal life, I want to be able to, I want to find someone who I truly want to be with, and they truly want to be with me. And, like, I've had my relationships, they've been ups, downs, sideways, what the fucks, pretty much. And like, there's someone right now, but I know we're kind of star-crossed, so it's like we both know we're not meant to be, but in the same sense, we want to be. But anywho, I want to find someone who I want to be with, and they want to be with me, and things will be great in a sense. I'm not going to say perfect because nothing in this world is perfect. But also just want to work. Besides that, I want to work on being. I want to be back on my own again. Like right now, I'm not on my own and things like that. And I actually want to be completely on my own, just me and my daughter, and that's it. I don't want to have roommates or anything like that right away. I just want to be to myself with my daughter. And I want to work on, which another thing is having a better relationship with her. Because I feel like when I was going through my depression and stuff, which I admitted, I pushed her away. And that wasn't a good thing. But in the same sense, I feel like you see on the news all the time, all these parents who end up killing their kids and stuff because they're depressed or all this other shit. And they're going through postpartum, and instead of them actually getting help or like having kind of like what I did, which my family was there for me and they took care of her while I got me fixed and I'm doing me. Unfortunately, there's some kids who lost their life off of that. And I feel like that's terrible. But that's another thing I want to work on. Another thing I want to work on is I want to start learning different languages, because I do have viewers who listen to me in other areas, and I want you guys to be able to listen with no problem. Which it was actually kind of cool because I was looking on like my viewers and who listens and stuff like that, and I've had people from all over listen. I've had people from Colombia, from the Ukraine, from Russia, from Canada, of course the United States, Australia, Britain, excuse me. I'm about to take a break soon so I can get something to drink, but I've had people all over listen to me, and I just honestly feel so happy that you guys want to listen to me. Whether you're listening to my poetry, you're listening to my erotic stories or erotic poetry, you're listening to something. I feel so happy and so blessed that you guys are listening. And I truly appreciate it. And I want to be able to eventually, once I get big enough, tour and like meet some of you guys and even perform, which that's another thing I want to do, is actually perform and work more on my YouTube channel too, which that doesn't mean I'm going to stop podcasting. I'm going to be podcasting also, but I want to do have some poetry I don't do on here that I do for YouTube, where I see a visual for it. So I actually do the visual for it. And that's another thing I want to work on. Another thing I want to work on is actually, I want to start working on my own clothing line. And not only just clothing, I want to work on I guess makeup and all sorts of stuff, because I have such big views and big visions for the future, and I want you guys to seriously be here and see it. And I don't want to put it out there just my clothing line, but I know it's going to be something unique and something for all size women, which there's a lot of clothing lines that say they're for all size women, but they don't fit all size women, or they don't fit all size women's pockets, which I want it to also be affordable. But it also will be very unique too. So, and I'm going to take a brief break, grab something to drink, and then we will get back to this. All right. Alright, and I am back. And some other things I want to do. Want to get another car. I think that kind of goes with being independent again. So, getting my own car again. Ooh. Start working on, like, wanting to do other things too towards taking, like, maybe like doing photo shoots and things like that. Working on artwork. Trying unique ways to get my poetry and my stories out there. So doing a lot of visual poetry too in the new before I turn 30. So I was starting to do visual poetry the year before last, but I was doing it by drawing, and I actually lost my drawing notebook, and I had quite a bit of poems for it and lost it, and quite a bit of drawings. And I actually was told by someone at, like, where I stay at, they have this little museum, and they actually told me that, like, I may think my drawings don't look good, but there's someone who might actually think it's worth, like, money and stuff like that, so I shouldn't always put myself down towards that, which that's another thing I need to work on, is not putting myself down so much, and also facing my fears, which would be another one. But I'm gonna wrap this up, and just to kind of give you guys an overview, I had a great birthday. I had an awesome birthday. It was kind of what I needed this year. Instead of hanging out with people and friends, I hung out with my family, and I spent time with my daughter. And my daughter made stuff for me, and that kind of, like, really made my day. But like always, I say, these are my views, my opinions about anything that, like, this is my birthday show, so there's nothing that you guys should be negative about for my birthday. My God. But I hope you guys enjoyed once more. I'm gonna let this song play out, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.